Hello, I'm Drew Combs with Spark Media Solutions. I'm here with Jill Weber, who is Chief Business Development Officer at Stinson Leonard Street, based in Minnesota. Thanks for being with us today. You guys recently implemented a program, a survey of some of your clients surrounding the Net Promoter Score. If you could tell me a little bit about the Net Promoter Score and why is it something that's of value for a law firm?
Yes, and the Net Promoter Score was developed by a gentleman named Fred Reichheld, and it's based on the concept that there's only one question you need to ask clients to find out what they really think about you, and that question is, how likely are you to refer Stinson Leonard Street to someone else on a scale of 1 to 10? A score of a 9 or 10 is a promoter. Those people are great advocates for you. A score of a 7 or an 8 is a passive, and they really belong to the market. And a score of 1 to 6 is a detractor, which means that they are could be actively putting you down in the marketplace. And we had read about the survey, and we wanted to conduct this survey with our own clients to get a sense of how they would refer us, because referrals are absolutely a critical part of how lawyers and law firms get business.
And it's something that law firms haven't been sort of quick to adopt, given that, as you said, referrals are so important in the legal business. Why do you think that's so?
I think how you measure it is really challenging, and it's hard to ask that question on a systematic basis. So we started by asking that question as part of face-to-face client interviews that we conduct on a regular basis. And then we decided to implement an electronic survey, and we sent that survey out to over 400 clients, and we included a few other questions that only took a client 3 to 5 minutes to complete. We had over 200 responses, and we were able to aggregate those responses on a firm-wide level, at the practice group level, or even on an industry level to see if we could identify trends. Overall, the feedback was incredibly positive, and it was really helpful to the individual relationship attorneys as well as our practice groups to understand what the client feedback and perspective was on the firm.
So expanding on that, give me some sense of what the benefit has been from the firm, and what, if any, sort of additional reactions outside of the survey that you guys have gotten from clients.
The response has been very positive from the attorneys. They really like to be able to see that quantifiable metric, because I think for the most part they might hear that a client referred them, but they're not able to quantify it in a way that they're accustomed to getting, for example, grades in law school. So we saw that people really like getting these positive reports because it was actually a measure of what the client thought in a variety of areas. The other thing we've thought about is it would be very interesting to implement something like this on an ongoing basis as part of legal project management. So if you have a ongoing litigation matter, for example, to check in with the client on a regular basis to find out how things are going at this stage in the litigation and the next stage in the litigation. So that's sort of what we're looking at in the next round.
Now, give me some genesis of how you guys as a firm decided to go with this strategy. Was it an easy sell internally? Was it more challenging?
It took a little while to get people to be willing to provide the names. What I think they were most comfortable with is that the online tool that we used allowed them to send personalized emails without it requiring the attorney's time. So when the client received the email, it appeared to come from Jill Weber, and they knew the relationship attorney, so they were more likely to respond. I think also the fact that we were going to report the results on a broad basis without being individualized, so it wasn't just, here's what they said about Jill, but here's what they said about a practice group, here's what they said about the firm, helped to overcome some of those concerns that they might have initially had.
And then what do you guys see as sort of the next step? Is this part of a process by which you guys will use sort of new techniques to further engage clients, or the benefit you're getting, from this alone has made it, worthwhile?
We think that we'll repeat this survey probably on an annual basis with key clients from a number of our practice groups. And what we like about it is it's both cost effective, it's very efficient, and it targets a lot of clients in a way that's very short. It only took them, as I said, 3 to 5 minutes to complete the survey, so it's not intrusive. It doesn't require the time of an in-person client interview. It isn't a phone survey. It's been a really interesting addition to our ongoing client service and client feedback initiative.